If a woman tells you these 5 things, walk away from her. Modern Stoic. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to stick around because today's topic might just save you from a lot of wasted time, energy, and heartbreak. Let's begin with this powerful quote. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln. And part of creating your future is recognizing when to walk away from a relationship that doesn't serve you. Now, let's be clear. Women may not always say exactly what they mean, but they always mean what they say. In today's world of modern dating, it's easy to get swept up in emotions or overlook red flags because we think we can change things or because we want to believe the best in someone. But there are certain things women can say that should trigger your inner warning system. These are not small, inconsequential comments. These are red flags that are too big to ignore. When a woman expresses certain thoughts, it can give you insight into how she sees relationships and, more importantly, how she views you. Her words aren't random. They show you where her heart and mind truly are. Ignoring these signs means you're walking into a situation that can drain your time, energy, and emotional well-being. It's not about doubting women. It's about taking charge of your life and making sure you don't waste time with someone who doesn't respect or value you. This video is going to break down the 5 phrases that should make you stop and think before you get deeper into a relationship. A woman's words speak volumes about her mindset, and her mindset will ultimately shape how she treats you. Remember, this isn't about criticizing women. It's about empowering yourself to make smarter decisions when it comes to relationships. Too many men get stuck in toxic situations because they don't catch the signs early enough. Don't let that be you. If you want to avoid unnecessary heartbreak, stress, and wasted years, pay attention to these phrases. Let's get into it. 1. We don't need to define this. If a woman ever tells you, we don't need to define this, listen closely, because that is her way of telling you that you're merely an option, not a priority. And trust me, if you stick around after hearing those words, you are walking into a whirlwind of confusion, frustration, and wasted time. Here's the truth. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, she craves clarity. She wants to know where the relationship stands, where it's headed, and what she can expect. If she avoids defining things, it's because she wants the perks of being in a relationship without committing to one. She gets to have all the benefits of having someone by her side, without the responsibility. She can date others, see whoever she wants, and keep you in the background, just in case her options don't work out. Some men may hear this and think, well, maybe she's just taking it slow. But that's not the case. There's a huge difference between pacing a relationship and leaving it undefined forever. Months could pass, and if she still dodges the "what are we" conversation, she's not confused. She's keeping her options wide open, with no real commitment to you. The longer you stay, the more emotionally invested you become, while she is living stress-free, knowing she can exit the relationship at any time, no strings attached. And when she decides to move on, you're left asking yourself what went wrong, while she's already moved on to someone else. Now imagine this. Would you ever accept a job offer where the employer says, let's not define your role, just show up and work? Absolutely not. You'd want to know your role, your responsibilities, your future in the company, and your benefits. The same logic applies to relationships. So, what should you do when a woman says she doesn't want to define things? It's time to walk away. Or at the very least, take a step back and make it clear that you're looking for something real, not a situation where she gets to play by her own rules. If she truly values you, she'll step up and make it official. If she doesn't, then she was never serious about you to begin with. Don't waste your time hoping for something more from someone who isn't ready to give it. And remember, time is the most valuable thing a man can spend. Theophrastus. Don't let someone waste yours. Step up, take control, and move forward with purpose. 2. You're lucky to have me. When a woman tells you, "You're lucky to have me," it may seem at first like confidence, but in reality, it's often a reflection of entitlement. This phrase is an attempt to place herself on a pedestal, subtly implying that her mere presence is a prize for which you should feel grateful. Let's be clear. True relationships are founded on mutual respect and appreciation, not on one partner feeling superior to the other. Yes, confidence is admirable, and you deserve a partner who knows her worth just as much as you know yours. But there's a fine line between owning your value and using it to belittle or diminish the other person. When a woman constantly reminds you that you're lucky to have her, yet never shows you any appreciation in return, this is not a healthy dynamic. It's an imbalance. It's not love. It's manipulation. If she sees herself as the prize, what happens when conflicts arise? What happens when you express your concerns or needs? She will likely dismiss them, because in her mind, she is already doing you a favor by being in your life. This mindset allows her to avoid compromise. Why would she need to? She's in control, in her eyes. And this is where the toxic cycle begins. You may find yourself constantly seeking her approval, apologizing even when you're not at fault, or sacrificing your own needs just to keep her happy. You're left wondering if it will ever be enough. The truth is, it won't. A woman who views herself as the prize will always want more, but give less. This dynamic will leave you empty, constantly chasing validation, yet never feeling truly seen or valued. A great woman doesn't need to tell you that you're lucky to have her. She shows it through her actions. She appreciates your efforts, values your presence, and reciprocates the effort you put into the relationship. This is the foundation of a strong, lasting connection, one where both partners contribute equally, valuing each other's worth. If she keeps telling you that you're lucky to have her, it's time to step back and reflect. Does she make you feel appreciated, or does she make you feel like you're just lucky to be in her presence? In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel valued and equal. Don't let her words convince you that you're lucky. Ask yourself if her actions reflect the respect and effort you deserve. Relationships are not about one person being above the other. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." It's time to make sure that in your relationship, you both stand on equal ground. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Your worth is not defined by her approval. If you've experienced this, leave a comment below, telling us how you've navigated similar situations in relationships. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Your future, your happiness, and your peace of mind depend on the choices you make today. 3. If you loved me, you would. At first, this might sound like confidence, but if you really pay attention, it's often a sign of entitlement. The underlying message here is that she sees herself as the prize, and you should be grateful just to be in her presence. But here's the reality. In a healthy relationship, the foundation is mutual appreciation, not one person assuming they are superior. As Stoic wisdom teaches us, The only thing in our power is our own thoughts and actions, and it is crucial to recognize your own worth while respecting the worth of others. Confidence in oneself is undoubtedly attractive, and it's essential to appreciate a woman who knows her value, just as you should know yours. However, there is a critical difference between being aware of your worth and using it to put your partner down or make them feel inferior. If a woman continuously reminds you that you're lucky to have her, but never reciprocates by expressing gratitude for you, it signals an imbalance in the relationship. Healthy partnerships are built on respect and mutual recognition, not one-sided validation. A strong relationship is not about one person acting as if they are the catch, while the other is left scrambling to prove their worth. This mindset breeds inequality. As a wise man once said, a person who feels superior to others is not in control of themselves, but rather their ego. So, what happens when this dynamic plays out over time? If she truly believes that you're the lucky one, her dismissive attitude may appear when you have concerns or unmet needs. Instead of listening or compromising, she may believe her mere presence is enough to satisfy the relationship. Why would she change or adjust when she sees herself as the one doing you a favor by being with you? This imbalance can foster an unhealthy environment where you feel like you must constantly earn her approval. You might start doing things to impress her, apologizing even when you're not at fault, or prioritizing her happiness over your own. But here's the truth. No matter how much you bend or strive, it will never be enough to satisfy someone who is focused solely on their own self-perception as the prize. A woman who sees herself as above you will always expect more from you, while offering less in return. Eventually, this one-sided effort can leave you emotionally drained, constantly seeking validation from someone who is not emotionally invested in returning the same energy. Remember, a truly great partner doesn't need to remind you that you're lucky to have them. Their actions speak louder than words. They appreciate what you bring to the relationship, just as you appreciate them. They don't make you feel inferior. They make you feel valued. They understand that a healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and effort, where both partners give and take in equal measure. The Stoics taught us that virtue is not given, it is earned. In the same way, respect and love must be earned through actions, not words. So, if you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly made to feel inferior, it's time to reevaluate the dynamics. You deserve a partnership where both of you are equal and appreciate one another's worth. It's not about being lucky. It's about being valued. 4. All my exes were the problem. If a woman says this, it might seem like she just had bad luck in relationships. But pause for a moment and truly reflect on what she's saying. She's telling you that every single man she's ever been with has been toxic, crazy, or immature. Yet somehow, she was never the issue. This isn't bad luck. It's a clear pattern. And if you're not careful, you could find yourself as the next man on her list of horrible exes. The reality is that relationships require two people to make them work. And if she consistently blames her exes without ever taking any responsibility for what went wrong, you should see this as a significant red flag. Sure, we all know that some men can be problematic, just as some women can be. But when a woman refuses to take accountability for her past relationships, it shows a lack of self-awareness and emotional maturity. If she's unwilling to reflect on her role in the breakdown of past relationships, what reason do you have to believe she'll treat you any differently? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Relationships are about both parties contributing to the dynamic. Too often, men ignore this sign, thinking that a woman's rant about her crazy exes means she just needs someone better, someone like them. This is where men get it wrong. If a woman has a history of failed relationships, it's not always about the men she was with. It could be about her choices, her behavior, and the way she handles conflict. If she doesn't take responsibility for her actions, you might be setting yourself up for a repeat of the same cycle of blame and resentment. So, if you hear her say that all of her exes were the problem, take a step back and consider whether you want to be the next man who gets blamed when things inevitably don't work out. It's crucial to recognize that emotional growth and self-awareness are key to any successful relationship, and without these qualities, no matter how good of a man you are, you won't be able to change her patterns. 5. Take me as I am. When a woman says, "Take me as I am," it might initially sound like a statement of confidence, but in truth, it's often a red flag, a warning sign that she is unwilling to take responsibility for her actions or improve herself. What she is really saying, though not directly, is, "I am who I am, and you should simply accept that." This kind of statement might seem empowering at first, but it often hides a deeper issue, a reluctance to grow, compromise, or make the relationship better. It's all about her, and there's little room for change. Every healthy relationship thrives on the mutual growth and understanding of both individuals. No one is perfect, and that's perfectly acceptable. But when one person refuses to acknowledge their flaws or make any effort to improve them, it becomes a major red flag. Imagine being in a relationship where every time you express a concern or need, she brushes it off with, "That's just how I am." It leaves you feeling unheard, dismissed, and frustrated. Worse, you're left with the unsettling realization that you're expected to tolerate things that are actually not okay with you. Picture this scenario. You've always made it a point to be punctual for your dates, but she consistently shows up late, sometimes by 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour. You gently bring up how it makes you feel disrespected and unimportant. Instead of acknowledging your feelings, she casually says, "That's just how I am. I'm always late. You should just accept it." Right then and there, she is telling you that your feelings are secondary. Instead of striving to change and meet you halfway, she expects you to adjust to her behavior, no matter how inconsiderate it may be. This lack of willingness to compromise or take your concerns seriously isn't just annoying, it's a symptom of a deeper issue. When this mindset applies to bigger, more significant issues, the problems multiply. Maybe she has a short temper and lashes out over trivial matters. Maybe she refuses to communicate during arguments, leaving you with no resolution. If she is unwilling to grow or change for the better in the relationship, it leaves you in a constant state of frustration and emotional depletion. You'll always find yourself bending, adjusting, and compromising to fit into her world, while she refuses to do the same for you. In essence, you'll be the one putting in all the effort, while she remains emotionally selfish, asking you to shoulder the weight of the relationship's shortcomings. This is not a healthy partnership. It's an emotional trap where you're forced to continually sacrifice your needs and feelings. A strong woman doesn't demand that you simply accept her for who she is, without any effort toward growth. Instead, she recognizes her flaws and is willing to work on them, just as you should. That's the kind of partner you should seek. Someone who understands that a healthy relationship requires effort and mutual understanding. If you hear a woman say, "Take me as I am," pay close attention to how she delivers it. If it's an excuse to avoid responsibility or to justify bad behavior, you need to take a step back. No one should expect you to tolerate disrespect, emotional neglect, or a refusal to grow. Relationships are about give and take, and if she's unwilling to meet you halfway, the best thing you can do is walk away. Holding on to someone who won't grow with you only stunts your own personal growth, and that is a lesson old Stoic wisdom teaches us well. Don't settle for what keeps you from becoming your best self. Walk away from relationships that ask you to accept mediocrity and seek out those that challenge you to grow, just as you should challenge them. Hey, thanks for watching. Let me leave you with this. Never forget your value. If a woman shows you these signs, it's time to walk away. Don't waste your time trying to change someone who isn't ready or willing to change. Respect yourself enough to set boundaries and protect your peace. Real love is built on mutual respect, not manipulation or games. Take this advice to heart. The sooner you walk away from unhealthy situations, the sooner you'll make room for the right person to come into your life. Stay strong, stay wise, and remember that the best way to love yourself is by never settling for less than you deserve.